Hello, dear students. Welcome to another session of copyright law. In our last lecture, we had gone through the basics of copyright law, wherein we understood as to what are the subject matter under the Copyright Act. We said in India we have the Copyright Act 1957, which is in conformity with the TRIPS agreement, that is trade related aspects of intellectual property rights. We also understood the elements of copyrightable material in India under the 1957 Act. We said that literary, dramatic, musical and artistic, cinematographic films and sound recordings come under as subject matter of copyright law. In our today's session, we will go through another important topic under our syllabus, and that is rights of copyright holder. If you remember, we said we are signatory to the Berne Convention, which talks about the copyright protection. And in India, under the 1957 legislation, a person who has got a copyright over the material, be it by way of registration or by way of non-registration as well, gets a copyright over its own or over his own material for his lifetime plus 60 years after his death. During the subsistence of this copyrightable, registrable and the material which he has registered under the Copyright Act, there are certain exclusive rights which he can enjoy to make sure that he is either commercially exploiting his copyrightable material or he is using it for his own benefit or for the use of the society. These rights are specifically quoted under the 1957 legislation, and they are categorically laid down depending upon your copyrightable material comes under which heading, as to whether it comes under artistic or it becomes a dramatic work or it becomes a musical work. So let us go ahead and try and understand what are these rights which are exclusively in the hands of the copyright holder, because ultimately the copyright holder becomes the first owner of his own work. In case the work is an artistic work or it is a literary, dramatic or musical work, the Copyright Act gives the following rights. The rights are, as I mentioned, exclusive rights. The word exclusive, as we have already discussed it under patent law, means you exclude everybody else from enjoying these rights. It is only the owner of that IPR who gets a right to enjoy or to use that material. So, if it is an artistic, literary, or dramatic or musical work, the copyright holder gets a right to reproduce the work in any material form. We had discussed that ideas are not copyrightable, it is expression of idea which can be protected under Copyright Act. Let's say, for example, if a person has made a beautiful theme or a beautiful musical work, till the time he portrays that musical work in any material form, it cannot be protected. If an artist has drawn a beautiful picture, if he wants to reproduce it maybe in a journal or maybe on any particular social media websites, or wants to reproduce it in any magazine, or just take a printout, 1,000 printouts of that beautiful painting and paste it throughout the colleges or schools, that is something for which the exclusive right has been granted to the copyright holder. The second right, which is again very important, is to publish the work. The word here publish, please don't take it in any orthodox way, that means only in any physical material form. You get a right to publish it in anywhere, any form of publication. So it might be in a form of a book. Let's say a poem has been written, let's say multiple poems have been written by a poet. If he wants to publish that as one single book, he can go ahead and publish it. If he wants to publish it in any magazine or put it on any websites or put it on his own Facebook account or Instagram, he can go on doing it. To perform the work in public is another expression of a copyrightable work. If there is any dramatic work which has been created, let's say a script has been written by a script writer, he wants to showcase that script in form of any theoretical work, he can do that, let's say in any competition, or let's say in any college gatherings, so on and so forth. The next important word which is given under Copyright Act is translation of a work. Translation typically means that you can go on translating it in any form, firstly, and you can go on translating it in any language. Let's say a book has been written on copyright law by an author, and he wants in English, and he wants to translate it in 5 different languages. The right of translation as well has been granted to the copyright holder. Nobody can say that the author has written the book in English, I can translate it in Hindi without his permission because that will become my copyright. Absolutely not. Even though you are putting in efforts of converting each and every word, translating it in Hindi, even though that might be your label, that might be your skill, that might be your efforts, but the original work is created by somebody else, and till the time you don't obtain the permission of that author, original author, you cannot translate his work. It is fine if you take prior consent of that author, translate it in Hindi, and then go on publishing your work because it is your skill which has being involved in it. But till the time you don't obtain the prior consent of the original author, and if you go on continuing the translation and giving the credit as your name attached to that word or that work, it will not be considered to be legal, and it will be considered to be infringement of copyright. Another important right which is granted is to make any cinematographic film or a record in respect of a work. Now there have been many scripts which are just there on paper, whereas various scripts have been translated into any movie, be it any Bollywood movie or be it any Hollywood movie, or take example of any script which is put forth in form of a drama or in form of a theatrical work. So to produce and to make any cinematographic film out of your work is something which is granted as an exclusive right. You can give or you can transfer your rights, you can assign your rights to somebody else to produce that movie or to direct that movie, but whether it should be converted into a cinematographic film or not, that is something which only the original author gets a right to decide. Another is somewhat similar to performing it in public, that is to broadcast the work. To broadcast means to put it out in public, to showcase it in the public. So, for example, if I have written a poem on God and I am trying to recite that poem on God outside any mosque, or I am trying to recite it in temple, that is where I am broadcasting my poem. That is a right which only I get. If I have written a beautiful poem on God and my neighbor takes that poem in hand and starts reciting it in the temple, it will be considered to be infringement because it is my original work, and whether it should be put forward or brought it in public domain or not, that is the exclusive right which only I get for. To make any adaptation of work, this is something which is similar to putting it or publishing the work. To adapt the work in any other form is a right granted exclusively to the copyright holder. Or to do any of the above in relation to a translation or to an adaptation of a work, that too is a right given to the copyright holder. To adapt the work typically might go on involving of converting the original work in some other form. Like for example, if a book is published or as an autobiography of a legendary actor, to make a movie out of it becomes adaptation of work in cinematographic film. That is an exclusive right granted only and only to the original author, that means the copyright holder. When you talk about the cinematographic films or any other copyright associated with a cinematographic film, the copyright holder gets a right to make copy of the film. So to make copy in the sense, if the cinematographic film has been completed, to make copies of that movie and try and distribute it to the theater owners, or try and distribute it to, let's say, considering today's situation when the movie theaters are closed, everybody wants to put their movie on Netflix or any other social media sites. So that is something wherein you are making a copy of the film and you are distributing it, or you are selling it for some consideration. Likewise, to cause the film in so far as it consists of visual images to be seen in public, and in so far as it consists of sound to be heard in public. Likewise, like I said, if you want to put it on theater, if you want to release it on any particular day, when it should be released, how, in which theaters it should be put up to, that is something which is the exclusive right which is given to copyright holder. Likewise, to make any record embodying the recording in part of soundtrack associated with the film by utilizing such soundtrack is again a right which is given to the copyright holder. If you remember, when we had discussed copyrights over sound, we said that any sound or any music for that matter consists of bundle of rights. The sound notes which are given by the sound recordist, or the lyrist which are given by the lyricist, all these things combined together, bundled together, make a music. So any particular single person cannot have a copyright over a song. There might be multiple people who will be having individual copyrights in one single song. Likewise, with a cinematographic film as well, the dancers will get their own copyright over it, the choreographer will get a copyright over it, the dialogue writer will get a copyright over it individually. But all these people go on transferring their copyrights to the producer of the movie, that is of the cinematographic film, and standalone it is the producer who gets a right over the cinematographic film. To communicate the film by broadcast, it is a similar right which we saw in the last slide with respect to artistic, literary and dramatic work. To broadcast it in the public by way of maybe releasing it in the theatres or putting it on any social media websites or showcasing it in any film festivals, that is a right which the producer of the cinematographic film gets. Uh, these rights, like I said, are to be enjoyed exclusively by the first owner, that means by the copyright holder. However, like patent, wherein the owner of the patent, that is the patentee, could grant his of certain of his rights or the entire of his rights over the invention to somebody else, either by way of a license or by way of an assignment. Similar provision has been given under the 1957 Act, which goes on saying that a copyright holder or an owner of a copyright can go on transferring certain of his rights out of the entire bundle of the rights which he has under a single copyrightable work to somebody else. Now, the legal provisions with respect to the 1957 legislation, considering the assignment and considering the transfer of work, are similar to what we had seen under the Patent Act. So, the author of the work is considered to be the first owner of a copyright in a work. But when you talk about different works under Copyright Act, there are certain changes to it. For example, in case of an original literary, musical, dramatic and artistic work, it is the person who has created the work or composed such work who will be considered to be the owner of that copyright. Whereas if you talk about a sound recording or a cinematographic film, like I said, it is the producer of that work who will be considered to be the first owner. Photograph is also considered to be a copyrightable work. Even though, let's say, I'm taking a photograph of a sunset, even though sunset is something which is not my original work, but the way in which I click the photograph, it involves my skill, it involves my knack over that photography, and that is why even photographs are considered to be copyrightable work. So the photographer who has clicked the photograph becomes the original owner, that means the first owner of copyright. Last time we had discussed that in India, computer softwares or computer programs are not patentable because they are not considered to be inventions. However, it as involves coding, it involves a language. When you are trying to code any computer program or computer software, it is considered as literary work and it comes as a copyrightable work under the 1957 Act. So, in case the work is a computer generated work, the author is a person who causes the work to be created. For example, if I am an employee working in some IT company and my employer has told me to code or prepare or to code any computer software or any language related to computer software, even though I am the person who has created that software, as I am working under the employer, I need to assign my rights with respect to the computer software to my employer. But apart from employment contracts, if I am a freelancer and I am doing my own work with respect to computer programs, if I have created that program, I become the first owner. That means I become the copyright holder of that computer program. Whereas in case of work which is created by an author in the course of his or her employment under the contract of a service, then in that case the employer becomes the first owner of the work. This is simply because even if it is my intellect which has been utilized for creating any work, I am using the resources of my employer. Maybe I am using the resources which are, let's say, a computer, or if I am coding a computer software, whatever resources or infrastructure I require to do that, I am going utilizing it that of the employer. So if there are 10% efforts put in by me, remaining 90% is the input of the employer. And under the Indian Contract Act and the contract of service, the rule says that you need to go and give the assignment or transfer your work to your employer, because you are using the employer's resources to create that work. So it does not become your original work. So in these circumstances, the first owner goes on changing depending upon which category of work you have created. Under the Indian Copyright Act 1957, you can go on transferring your copyright exclusive rights under following circumstances. One is by way of an assignment. Now in this case, the assignee, that means the person to whom you have assigned your copyrighted work, becomes entitled to all the rights related to the copyright with respect to the assigned work, and that assignee will be treated as the owner of the copyright in respect of those rights. Now in this case, in case of assignment, like we had discussed under the patent law as well, you are transferring the entire bundle of rights to the assignee. You are also transferring at the same time the ownership of the copyrightable work to the assignee. So you cannot restrict the assignment with respect to a certain right. If you are going to assign it, you have to assign 100%. So your ownership as well as your exclusive rights to enjoy that copyrightable work also get transferred to the assignee. Likewise, the assignment becomes valid only if it is in writing and it has been registered and it has been signed by the assigner as well as by the assignee. The assignment deed, as it is commonly known as, it should identify the work which has been assigned, as well as it will have to specify the rights which have been assigned, the kind of rights which have been assigned, and most importantly the duration for which the assignment will be valid. However, if the assignment deed does not mention any duration, then the law implies it to be that for 5 years duration. The assignment deed may also go on mentioning the territorial extent of such assignment, wherein the person assigner might say that you will get exclusive rights to my copyrightable work only in the state of Maharashtra, for example, or only in the state of Andhra Pradesh, or throughout the territorial boundary of India. So that is something which has to be specifically mentioned. Now once I am transferring my entire rights, I am assigning my rights to some third party. In exchange to it, the person has to give me some amount of consideration, which as a jargon in common terms is known as royalty. So whatever royalty is payable by the assignee to the assigner, the amount of royalty also has to be mentioned in the assignment deed. This kind of assignment happens suo motu, that means by the parties themselves. They enter into certain negotiations, they enter into certain arrangements, and due to which this assignment takes place. But there might be a situation wherein the assignment does not take place by the consensus of the parties, but the assignment takes place due to certain legal provisions or due to by operation of law. So when the owner of the copyright dies, the copyright will pass on to his personal representatives or legal heirs as a part of the estate. However, if the copyright owner, that means the original copyright holder, if that person has made a will or has drafted a will, and there is a mention in the will as to who will be the owner of that copyright after his death, then the copyright will be assigned to that person. Now like we said, the duration of copyright is lifetime of the author plus 60 years after his death. So after his death, who will be the person who will be able to enjoy the exclusive rights for the remaining 60 years? that is something which law makes it necessarily to be mentioned. One is either you prepare a will, and in your will you go on mentioning who will be the owner of that copyright after your death, or if not, then by law, by default, it will be transferred or it will be assigned to your legal heirs or to your personal representatives as a part of asset. So after a person dies, depending upon, in India especially, depending upon which religion he belongs to, the succession takes place accordingly. For example, if a person who has died intestate, that means without making any will, the succession happens as per the Hindu Succession Act. So if the person who has died is a Hindu, then according to Hindu Succession Act, the succession of the copyright will also take place. So depending upon whether he has got first class 1 legal heirs or class 2 legal heirs, depending upon that, the succession will take place, and it will be considered as an asset which will get transferred to his legal representatives. This happens as an assignment wherein you are transferring the ownership as well. But if the owner of the copyright does not want to transfer ownership, but wants to transfer only certain rights out of the entire bundle of rights which he carries, he can go on licensing certain rights to another person. So the copyright owner becomes the licensor, and the person to whom he is going to license it becomes the licensee. So in this case, the owner of the copyright may grant a license to do any one of the act to which he is entitled to. There are two types of licenses. One is your voluntary license, which happens by way of a license deed or a license agreement, in which the licensor, that means the copyright holder, will have to go on mentioning exactly what are the rights which he is licensing, to whom he is licensing it, what is the duration of that license, if there is any territorial extent, it may be mentioned, what are the royalties which he is going to pay for that license. Whereas if it is not a voluntary license, like we had discussed under patent law, there is a concept under copyright law as well of that of compulsory license. So this happens under following scenarios, wherein one, if the work is withheld from the public, that means if I have created the work, I have registered the work, but I have not brought it into public domain. If that work is going to be of public's interest, but I have not brought it into public domain, then under certain circumstances, if an application has been made to the copyright board, and if the copyright board is satisfied that this work for the betterment of the society needs to be in public, but it has been withheld from public for a period of 7 years or more, then a compulsory license can be granted. Likewise, if it is for the benefit of disabled persons, let's say for example a software engineer has coded a software by way of which a blind person will be able to understand various let's say languages which are associated with www, that means which are associated with your internet or your domains. But that software engineer has not published it anywhere, has not released it in the market, is not trying to give the benefit of his intellect to the disabled person. And if any of the person who is having interest in that software makes an application to the copyright board that this is the software which will be helpful for blind people throughout the country, however the copyright owner has withheld it from disabled persons, then in that case, if the copyright board is satisfied, it may grant a compulsory license to somebody who is going to make this software available to the blind. Likewise, a compulsory license can be granted for broadcasting of literary and musical work and sound recording if it is necessary for the nation's security and integrity. Now, for example, whatever let's say for example whatever speech or whatever interviews which are conducted by our Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi. Let's say if Star Plus says that even though we are a news channel, Star News, we are not going to broadcast his speech on our news channel to the public. Now, as a prime minister, whatever he addresses the nation, that should be released in the public, it should be broadcasted in the public. So, a compulsory license might be granted wherein the Star News will have to publish his speech, will have to make it live, will have to broadcast the work which he is doing. So, that might happen in case it is necessary for the country's security or integrity or for the social welfare. Likewise, a license can be granted to reproduce and publish the works for certain purposes, and these certain purposes have not been specifically mentioned under the Copyright Act. It has been kept open for law to decide. So, in certain cases, if you feel that it is necessary to be published, it is necessary to be broadcasted, these works will be helpful or they will be useful for the society, then it might be published after taking prior consent of the Copyright Board. So, in case of transfer of your exclusive rights, either they can be in the form of an assignment, a written assignment, or it might be by operation of law if a person dies intestate, that means without making a will, or it can be in a form of a license wherein you are not transferring your ownership, but what you are doing is just transferring certain of your exclusive rights out of the entire bundle of rights. So, in case of transfer of copyrightable work, it can only and only be done by the first owner of copyright, that means the author of the work. Now, in our next session, we will understand as to what amounts to infringement and what are the defenses which a defendant can take in case an infringement suit has been filed against him. So, I'll see you all in our next session. Thank you so much.